Combustion.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Been running the game with my team making plays. Talking 80, my G's, 100 jewels in this place. Surrounded by dogs, keep the quarterback safe. I'm the one with the plans, they gon' do what I say. The game is not over, we don't celebrate. In the end zone, we don't got no time in the wait. H-time run down, we don't premeditate. We just go and get to it, we got them on skates. If the game go into overtime, kicking the overdrive, we gon' be first at the finish line. Play looking full, but I finish mine. Can I get second? We gon' line up like it's dinner time. We put in work till we get us a ring. Super Bowl season, we running the scene. H-time the home of the realest that breathe. Keep your face down when you talk to the king.
What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the H-Time Rundown. This is your boy AD.
Shocker.
Folks in the building. We got Clayton. We got Jules. How's everybody doing on this wonderful Sunday night?
That was good. We shocked to see your ass though.
That was clutch.
That
was impressive.
Hey, I'm look.
Look, he's split it in.
And I'm telling you, bro, I hit the last second shot all the time. I don't miss.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's not go. Let's not go that far. You always take it too goddamn far.
I don't miss. But yeah, shout out, chill out. Shout out LD. Again, you got Lackville. What up, brother? Houston Texans. You know, we got a little delayed. Had some breaking news for the Houston Texans. They right before free agency. We are on free agency eve. The Houston Texans did pull off not a shocker, but they brought back Naquan Jones, who was very productive at the end of the season.
Yes.
So again, the Houston Texans making good and bringing in defensive help along that defensive line. But I want to hear y'all thoughts about that because we got a lot to talk about. We ain't even scratched the surface of what has happened and transpired this past week. So I want to hear y'all thoughts on Naquan Jones, and then we'll jump right into the meat of the situation with the Houston Texans.
Yeah. Good to see you, buddy. What's up, Julius? I would say this is where the casuals get separated from those who actually watch the team.
Ooh, shots fired.
No, it's really not. I mean, no, but we talked about it, right? Like, I get it. We want the blockbuster like stuff like that, but when it comes to team building, you need guys like Naquan Jones, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need deals like that for your salary cap. You got the Naquans, you got the MJ Stewarts, right? Of course, you got Dalton Schultz. This is yet another one of those, like, you know, football player type moves where Naquan just a quality piece that you have to this puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they like him. They signed him, of course. Smart deal, right? Not overpaying for anybody, which is a great 1-year deal. So, of course, maintain the classic Casario flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it just continues the theme of the Texans are going to build out the rest of the roster and, you know, maintain a lot of that free free salary cap space that you got, you know, from restructures and extensions and stuff like that. So, but no, I like the move, man. 1 year, $2 million. You can't beat that.
I actually like Jones' play since he got here. Halfway through the season or last part of the season, I thought he was a good piece. I'm not looking for a championship piece out of him, but a good stout rotational player. If need be, he can start in spots. The salary was wonderful because I know that we have bigger priorities when it comes to the O-line that you're looking for these big names on the O-line together. So you're refilling your depth with your own people, and it's a nice salary, and he's a quality player. And with the two studs that you have on end, you can really not get the top tier talent because they gonna require most of the attention. But he is a quality player, and for that salary number, it's a really good fit for him.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to see him be under the tutelage of the coaching staff for a whole year and see what he can do, because we've seen what Tom Toya looked like when he got here. Because don't forget, he was cut from his previous team before he came over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Wasn't it the Cleveland Browns, if I'm not mistaken?
I believe so. But I wanted Tommy when he came out though. I wanted him a 5th round pick, but they picked somebody else. So
yeah, from Ohio State, right?
Yep.
Just updated the ticker, so there you go. just for those who missed it, of course, there are more moves to come, but that's kind of like a little recap of a lot of the meat and potatoes moves that we got.
Well,
So,
you see
So
that for the meat?
let's start with the meat. You want to
You
talk
s-
about the meat? Let's talk about Arby's.
but let
Yeah,
me
they had a meat. But let's talk about
all right, Vin Rames.
this might be this might be
um
weird.
let's talk about Titus Howard, man. Texans
Mm.
traded.
That's
Oh,
Texans
you
traded.
going all the way back? Okay, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
we
Let's
ain't
go.
we have we talked about it.
Now we
Let's
really
talk
haven't.
about it.
Let's go.
So the Houston Texans have traded interior offensive linemen, and I'm gonna call them interior offensive
Yes, you are. And I know you're gonna fight
linemen.
it, but offensive lineman.
Offensive lineman Titus Howard to the Cleveland Browns for a fifth round pick in the 2026 draft. And in turn, the Houston Texans also, the same day, made a move to trade for good old David Montgomery from the Detroit Lions for a fourth round pick of this year's draft, a seventh round pick of this year's draft, and of next year's draft, and then good old Juice Scruggs. So those were the ball droppers, two ball drops, pun intended.
Pause. Pause.
That happened. So you had those two moves happen, and it kind of started a flurry of moves where the Houston Texans made a move every single day this week. I think the next day you saw Dalton Schultz get an extension for 1 year, 12 million. You also saw them extend Daniil Hunter for another year for 40 million.
40 million, buddy.
40 points.
Also 40. Hey,
Stupid.
you think that's a lot? What do you wait till you see the Will Anderson Jr. extension when that thing is gonna be 50?
50.
It's gonna be 50.
I don't know.
Um,
I say 40. I say 48, 49.
okay, you talking to penny? You talking about a million?
A million here, a million there. I got you.
A million? Come on, 50 mil.
Look,
Will.
we
Like
said-
Brandon say, 50 mil. Will.
we said off stream that Will Anderson, we can see a scenario where he gets the most guaranteed money of all time, regardless of what the fancy numbers are. Like most guarantees ever, he's going to eclipse Micah Parsons in short order once his deal drops. So,
So you got that, and then you had the release of Joe Mixon, which was a long time coming. And then also the Texans re-signed MJ Stewart as well. So you had that as well. So just depth pieces and getting everything together. But yeah, it's been a kind of adventurous week.
EJ Speed.
Texans. EJ Speed as well. Forgot about EJ Speed. Signed a 2-year, $13.5 million deal. Just yesterday.
I'm so sorry. I disrespected you, sir. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. So what you have on the defense side of the ball is you have your 6 or 7 core players. You have your 2 ends. You have the linebacker Aziers. You have your corners. The safety was Jalen Petrie, Lassiter. I'm gonna drop a bomb on everybody at the end of the show about Lassiter, Stingley, Cade, and I guess you can put Reed or Stewart. So everybody you kind of sign now is to nucleus of the big 6 or big 7 that we have on defense. Your defensive heavy. You we know this team is ran by defense. So anybody get now is adding to the depth of it, or maybe a place started here. So your defense is real solid, and they just making these re-signing players to fit into what the nucleus already has. So I don't think people should think of big names when it comes to the defense side when we talk about free agency.
Yeah. I agree. I just I saw this coming from Larry, and it kind of took me off. Look, at the end of the day, brother, that ain't why they traded Titus Howard. They had nothing to do with Titus wanting to play tackle. And y'all I'm sorry, y'all ONs want to believe that there was a big issue that Titus was crying about playing tackle. Y'all crazy.
Well, I call me old in because I think the same thing.
You are old. You are old.
And I think the same thing. I think if they want an extension, he wanted some money because this deal didn't happen overnight. It had to be going on for a while. He wanted an extension. He thought he put himself as a tackle because that's where he put himself. You're not going to pay a guard $21 million. We wasn't going to pay him a tackle $21. So it was a business decision from both parties. Like this is not going nowhere. We might need you to play guard. He said, I want to play tackle. We might need to play guard. He said, well, let's go and get me out here so I can get my money. And that's what happened.
Titus sat up there and say, I'll play whatever you want me to, boss.
Nah, not this time, bro.
I'll do whatever you want me. Titus, first of all, the only reason why Titus wanted to play tackle or wanted the tackle situation was because
for the money.
Yeah. He's already gotten paid. They didn't want to pay him that anywhere near close to that kind of money.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just, it's just smart business practices, period.
Correct.
Because at the end of the day, you don't want to invest that heavy and to put that much money in the offensive line. You want to reset your offensive line because you're, potentially could be paying a quarterback.
Right.
So if you're paying a quarterback $200-300 million, like, it'll be hard to sit up here and say you're spending, paying 3 linemen 15+ million.
Right, and have the O line be as good or as bad as whoever your point of view of it. It does not indicate that you pay or you re-sign Tyus Howard at that money for a average O line.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly he's not the kind of guard as people say. Some people say he is. He's that big, powerful, moving body. He's not that big, powerful, moving right tackle if you want to. So it for the mindset of this offense of what they're trying to do, he can fit in if he wanted a team friendly deal. They'd be okay with it. But if he gonna play hardball and they want that, it just wasn't the cards for both teams. And I don't even fault Tyus Howard because it's a business on both ends. He want to get one more paycheck because he know this is his last big paycheck he gonna get.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, good for Titus for getting that, that contract. Because again, I think at the end of this contract, he'll be 34, 35.
Yeah.
He may not get another. This is his last hurrah.
Right.
And so you got to look at it like that for Titus Howard. But again, I don't think it had anything to do with position value. I think it's just the Texans. Even if Titus were to play guard, I don't think they were going to extend him again with $18 million. He was already getting paid $18 million.
Right.
Which made him
for 15, 14.
Yeah. Right. Now, if he was making, again, like you said, 15, 14, they probably would have been like, okay, we'll extend you, and keep running with you. But at that price, 18 going on almost 20, like that wasn't going to work out. So shout out to
I think we can all say that everybody's point is probably the big conversation in the whole conversation, and that's why the mutual split was what it was.
Mm-hmm. Right. Hold on, man. Yes, brother, you are ON. You are a ON. And Jules is too. And that don't mean you right. Just because you ON.
We probably more right than wrong though, but it's fine.
But that wrong be loud. Be loud
and proud, sir. Be wrong and proud. But we old school. At least we man up and say when we wrong. Hey, no, we wrong. I my bad. I eat some crow. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all younger generations don't never want to admit that they wrong.
Man, that's because y'all grew up in a time where y'all had to eat crow.
Because it's not a understanding. Because we don't always be right. Literally, ain't gotta be right. What you say? Always gotta be right. That ain't our
literally,
sir.
Might have some courage.
Nigga, wait that old. Calm down. Wait that old. North side niggas always talking noise. There you go. Always gotta be right. That's right.
Gotta be right. Hashtag.
Right. Wonder why communication's gone down. Why we having fights in the Middle East? That's a whole conversation for another day.
Oh man. But again, man, on top of that, I want to get y'all opinion on the David Montgomery of it all. Before we touch on the rest, and then we'll jump into free agency. But I want to hear y'all thoughts on David Montgomery.
I think that was the minute David Montgomery's trade request became public. I think a bunch of Texans fans said that's the guy right there. Correct. Cost-effective move, so that's a conservative move. If there was ever an offensive swarm type of player that you want, it's David Montgomery. You're just a tough runner. a lot of tread still on the tire because I mean, man, he's not 30 yet, and he
Yeah.
also kind of somewhat had last season off because of Jamar Gibbs is explosive here. So
Who?
Jamar
Gibbs.
Gibbs.
Jamar Gibbs.
So
Jameer Gibbs?
what did I
Jameer.
say? Jamar Gibbs. I'm
You call
sorry.
that man Jamari. I
My
say, who is Jamari?
I'm sorry. But no, so I agree with Brandon. So Dave Montgomery, I feel like is a perfect fit for this offense for what Nick Haley wants him to be. That physical outfit that runs the ball downhill. And again, like I said earlier, he's a cost-effective move. He's at around like what 5 to 7 mil right now. So
Yeah.
a
For
report
both
already came out.
seasons.
Yeah, and reports already came out that they might adjust his deal. So there's that. So which will still have him well under, where people are having names like Devon Achane be and Brees Hall be. So, I
Devon
think,
Achane, huh?
hey, listen, that was
Hey.
my dream guy. That was,
No,
listen,
see,
bro.
it goes deeper than that, Clayton.
I
I've
for
been I've
I,
been I've been
It's
preaching.
it's before your time, Clayton. It's for your
It was
time.
before. It was before.
Let
listen,
me
he
get
went
In
to
the
my
let me
old
get
before
off
high
this here.
times.
he went to my old high school, Thurgood Marshall alumni. So
Okay.
I saw that. I was like, oh, bring him home.
Into the
You know,
into the before times, I've been preaching Devon Achane, and I was garnered with so much disrespect and so much hate because I wanted Devon Achane. Oh, he's too small. He won't be able to play in the NFL. Oh, he went to that raggedy Texas A&M. He ain't no good. He ain't worth a second, third round pick. I don't even know why you even thinking about him. We don't need no Devon Achane. We don't need him. Even though he's fast and electric and can do a lot of things, can catch the ball out of the backfield and be an excellent back. We don't need none of that. He just because he went to Texas A&M, we don't want him. So
and low key, he's a great contact runner too. Low key, he has great yard after contact numbers for those who don't know. So he's not just a scat back, like he's an actual running back. He's a home run hitter every time he touches the football, which is why I was so disappointed when reports came out Miami's going to keep him. So so was what it was there. But we got Montgomery, happy to have him. And the trend of getting above 27-year-old running backs continues for the Texans. So,
Hold on.
so there you
I want to play some for 80 real quick.
mhm.
Ain't nobody care about
go.
2012,
What about
2025, sir. That's
Hey,
old news. You want some
it's
wine
just,
with the cheese and
what
all that
about
stuff?
them?
You know what I'm
hey
saying?
man,
So, hold on. Let me talk about Mr. B.
hashtag.
So we know you. We was on the same page. Some of us was on the same page about A Chain, but Dave Montgomery, he's what the Texans needed. He's what the identity of the old of offense and Nick Casario and what D'Amico Ryans want this offense to be. You can see the price tag for Walker is being reported 14, $15 million. That's not quite the kind of money
Mm-mm.
you're looking for somebody who's a running back by committee, because that's what he was for the whole season. And if you go to the stats, Zerbinay was getting like 12. I think he got 12 touchdowns all season, and he wasn't the one that was getting the most talking for Walker. So getting a bidding war for somebody who wasn't the main guy and kind of have some nagging injuries here and there, it's not a start. It's not a start business move. And then the whole training for a trend, and I talked to AD about this before. He is actually getting into the atmosphere of Barkley type numbers because he has gotten better every year. And he's when they actually making the focal point this year, he's gotten 1,300 yards on a bad team, and they knew he couldn't run the ball because the quarterback couldn't really throw the ball. Tyreek Hill was out most half the season, and they really couldn't generate a lot of offense. And he was still producing as an electric bat that can break it field. So you didn't want to get in that conversation. Oh, you shouldn't get in the conversation of giving up a second round pick because he's that talented, and then give him Brock type numbers. So what Nick Casario did, and like he did for Christian Kirk, like he did for Stephon Diggs, like he's done before. He traded a late round pick, even Joe Mixon, a late round pick to get somebody who has 2 or 3 good years left on their playing career, and we are motivated. And as he does all the time, he's gonna convert that money into those last 2 years into a big money to have salary flexibility next year. So you want this guy to get the tough yards. You want somebody to be behind him or with him. You want to call him. He's one. He's two. He's A. He's B. Whatever you call it. You can have a really good 1-2 punch, and they both can be together, and you don't know what's happening. I talked about before. You don't want to know the defense know what you're doing when you have Woody come in or you have David Montgomery, because they both can do the same thing situation. And David Montgomery is a hellified Christopher blocker.
Hmm.
That's nothing that you're getting at this man, and he has something to prove because he feels a little disrespected, because he got his carries taken from him by Gibbs, and he's just as good. Maybe he's not as fast, not explosive, but he's still a very good back at his age.
Who you
Um,
talking
Montgomery,
about? Oh,
you not listening, my nigga?
I'm
I see how
listening.
you got me
You
cussing
said,
now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying. We just got a black Christian month, and you got me saying the N word.
Look, man, I'm listening because I heard the A chain, and then it switched real quickly. And
Well, I was saying
I
what
was,
what
I was trying to keep up. I'm like, hold on, man.
because
You
we
saying
because
A chain ain't as fast as Gibbs?
no, I said that Montgomery is not fast.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's the whole thing about a second round pick and top money for Achan. That's not really smart business move for this team to go forward. So could they do it? Sure. Will they do it? Probably not, because you got David Montgomery. Could they still entertain it? Sure, but I don't think it's a good business move going forward.
So let me say this, because he's saying Casario probably messed up Montgomery trade value by giving him a contract extension. Brother, you giving, like, when you say an extension, you're talking about 1 year.
Yeah,
And
you're not adding years.
you're not sitting up here saying we about to give him a 3-4 year contract. We're not about to do that. But again, just adjusting the money around and moving it around to allow
mhm.
yourself to have cap space this year, and to give him a raise, and make him, whole,
Hmm.
the situation whole. Like, at the end of the day, you traded a 4th round pick and a 7th round pick. You basically traded a, and let's be real, the only thing of value you traded for Montgomery was that 4th round pick.
Exactly.
So you, again, you're talking about a 4th round pick that you basically gave up for Montgomery. And I know Juice Scruggs, whatever, but Juice Scruggs was out of here in so many words. So I'm not tripping on Nick Casario, and we got to get off the Nick Casario. Like, I understand people have hatred for the man and all that type of stuff, but a lot of these moves are made not because of him specifically. They're made because of others. Like the whole offensive line shuffle. As much as people want to put that on Nick, that's on Cole Popovich. Cole Popovich didn't want Titus here anymore. Cole Popovich didn't want Juice Scruggs here anymore. Cole Popovich wanted Trent Brown back, which is what we got Trent Brown back, which you didn't put on the ticker.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's right. We did get there.
he wants a Cade Mays. So you may see that happen. You may even see,
I feel
uh
like that's gonna happen. I feel like that's gonna happen.
I mean, if it doesn't happen, look at Lloyd Cushenberry from Tennessee as a guy as well.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
Lord, you sure?
yeah.
Hmm.
I looked him up. You sure?
Mm.
Like,
You looked up his PFF stats. That's what you looked up.
no, not even the grades. No, that's what you watch. I'm talking about the amount of pressures. I'm talking about all that stuff. Like, you sure?
Yeah, I'm not good on Christenberry.
Yeah.
So,
Christenberry.
but again, like I said, it's different options that you have. You could have an Elton Jenkins that'll come out, may be cut soon, when the league year starts. So you have all these different options and potential. So, um, like I said, all of these different moves happen for a reason. So, and it's
Hmm.
not just because. And again, I think the Nick Caley wanted a certain type of back, um, more of a power back.
Be
So
careful. Montgomery hates when people call him that. Be careful.
that's why he called Knuckles. Like,
He hates being called a power back, even though that's kind of
man,
what
I
he
don't give a damn about what he want to be called.
is.
Your mama call you. Your mama name me Clay. I'ma call you Clay.
Yeah.
Like, um, and again, like Sherrod said, they're also going to draft a back. Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
it is what it is.
You see,
So,
you see Mike
I
Washington.
feel bad for all the people that are just in love with Jawar Jordan and in love with British Brooks. I hate to tell you, they're not jumping over the rookie we're gonna draft.
Mike Washington to Houston. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it
So
happen.
look, all of that, we can move on. Speaking of running backs, let's talk about the Joe Mixon of it all. this was a sign of what was bound to happen, which is why the Montgomery trade happened, is because Joe Mixon was on his way out of Houston. And they made it sound nice when they released him. Oh, Joe Mixon requested his release and the Texans abided it. No, this was the plan all along. They just wanted to make it seem like Joe Mixon was coming out on the right end of it. Again, Joe Mixon still has some health issues and some things he has to clean up, but good luck to Joe Mixon wherever he ends up, and he may be able to come around and produce somewhere else. But we know that it won't be for the Houston Texans anymore. Thank you for the great year of production that you gave us, Joe Mixon. But do y'all have any lasting thoughts about Joe Mixon before we move on to the other situations?
One good year. That's all we can say. Thank
Hmm.
you.
Well, okay, let's put some respect, right? Like by the numbers, Joe Mixon did have the best individual season for a running back in Houston since Aaron Foster in 2014. He did do that. The first time a running back for the Texans had both double-digit touchdowns total and over 1,000 yards rushing. Like Lamar Miller did the yardage thing, and Carlos Hyde, shout out to Carlos, he got 1,000 yards, but Mixon's the first one in 10 years to do both. So that was that. And then lastly, I mean, it sucks because look, for me, he was the heart, yeah, he was the heartbeat and attitude of that offense last season. Not 2025, 2024. Like when he toted the mail, good things happened. He literally and figuratively carried you to so many wins and key spots. Heck, week one against the Colts, Joe Mixon shut that down. Heck, Mixon got you that touchdown to give you only a 1 point deficit against the Chiefs in the AFC divisional round. Like Joe Mixon, had he not got hip drop tackled, who knows? He might have had a 1,200, 1,300 yard season, and then this is a different conversation. So, but it just the way that the news even broke, mystery foot injury put on the NFI, just out for the season, really nebulous. As AD said, this was a long time coming. We knew it. Um, and I just hate how on the tail end, Mixon definitely tried to control the narrative. I don't know if y'all recall, but when he kind of got in a little brief spat with Ian Rappaport, I think,
Yep.
when Ian basically said exactly what was going to happen, which is Mixon done for the season, and Joe was like, "Well, I guess you know more than me, huh?" Like blah blah, blah all this stuff. So,
Mhm.
a lot of pettiness on the way out, but much credit to Joe. Thank him for his contributions. It is what it is. You hope he bounces back, but you know, uh, that foot is messed up, man, and we still don't have an answer for what happened and what the recovery timeline is. So I wouldn't be shocked if he messes around and misses a chunk of this next season too.
Man, like I'm not being cold. Is the fact of the matter is you had a great season 2 years ago. You have a mystery injury. The Texans paid you for a whole season, even
Mm-hmm.
though you did not play. They didn't go. They didn't get any kind of money back for not playing.
Yeah.
So and they did you a solid by not releasing you to make you look bad. You had to pardon the ways. So I mean, there is no great way to say goodbye. He did what he did. We don't know what happened, and we moved on. This just it. This is it's not a swan song, and we just have to move on because it's business. You can't be trusted to go on next year, and we can save 8 million, and we don't know what you're gonna come back to you, and we can't miss around fragrancy on a different back who can be who is healthy and they can do the same thing. It just is what it is. It's just business. This one
Yeah, another
he
person,
he he did to himself.
and
No,
we.
I don't say he did it to himself, but he kind of did. He did. He did.
Well,
Thank you.
Aaron Wilson said he needed stem cells from overseas. I'm like, what stem cells?
Aaron Wilson reported this after AD reported this.
Well, that's what I'm
So,
saying. Like the truth is, I'm saying like I ain't
should
want
I,
to say it,
you know,
but yeah,
And
yeah, you called it long time ago. Look, it's still not confirmed exactly what it is, and it doesn't help that Mixon has yet to speak
address
out
it.
on it.
so the
Right.
But
thing about it is that you can't address it without opening a wormhole of things that could first of all damage him and his career and future,
Correct.
and then also damage the Houston Texans. So it's almost like if you damn if you do,
And,
damn
and
if you don't.
and he needs to take the high road and be a mature adult and just keep his mouth shut and keep moving. Don't say anything else about the situation.
you know, it was really bad. combine week when they asked Casario again about it, and he said, "Yeah, I think he had a procedure during the offseason." I think, like, what? That's your starting running back who you're paying $10+ million. You think he has something done, and that lets you know that okay, yeah, no, whatever happened, the Texans were somewhere else, and mixing something else happened. There was lack of communication, and he did something, and that they didn't know about it. So they really, for real, they did him a solid by really think about it, bro. If this was like the 49ers or some other organization that really was known for outing you, heck, the Steelers, like, can you imagine Mike Tomlin sitting on that kind of information? Can you imagine Kyle Shanahan like going up there every week answering for this dude? Like some other team with a lesser culture probably would have said something like, but Texans just don't do that.
Look, Brandon said I think he and the team had a medical settlement with the provider, and that's why they can't say anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Joe Mixon needs to be quiet.
I'm gonna say this, regardless of what it is, whatever team he plays for next year or he plays again, the first question is gonna be asked, what happened to your foot?
Yeah. And people talk too, stuff leaks.
Right. It is what it is, but let's move on from we can talk about Joe Mixon all day, but we're not gonna do that today. We'll talk about shifting gears, staying on offense. I'm so happy that this happened because it just delighted me that I could crush Clayton's dreams.
I knew it was going. I knew it was coming to.
And so let's talk about the extension of Dalton Schultz, getting that good $12 million and ending the hope and belief that we
get. Hey, man. Well, look, bro. I got nothing. Look, for all that don't know, yes, man. I've been on the Sadiq train. I've been on the Stowers train. I've cooled off as of late to the Max Clairs of the world and whatnot.
Yeah, Max he a good player.
Listen, I thank you. Put Brandon's up there since we're talking. Put Brandon back that most recent one. Yes, thank you. I think Dalton Schultz is your Mark Andrews, and now you need an Isaiah Likely. And no, that's not Brevin Jordan.
It's Brevin Jordan.
No, sir. No. I like Brevin Jordan. He cannot stay healthy, at least right now. And look, prove me wrong. I hope he does. I think he was a low-key big L of a miss not having his athleticism, for 2 years, right? Like when he took that, think about it. He took that 70+ yard touchdown against the Browns to the house in the playoffs. Schultz wasn't doing that. So that's why I was big on in an offense orchestrated by a whole tight ends coach, basically. And Schultz had a top 10 tight end season. What better way to really energize his offense than to have, boom, like a guy in there like that? And when that news came down, I was like, dang, like it's not bad because you secure basically a quality tight end and nothing else. But that assuredly means they're not going to go big game hunting at tight end. So it is what it is. Look, as long as they end the draft with a Max Clair, I'd even take a Michael Trigg. Like, I just want a different. Stowers might be there late enough. I don't know.
You just want tight end,
bro. I want some because this is no, it's not. I was about to say this is Schultz's final year. No, it's not.
But
you want to get a guy like I want playmakers.
Hello, before you finish, Brevin Jordan fans remind me of Christian Harris fans. All they can say is about that 170-yard touchdown or one play here that he did in 2023.
Agree.
Okay, but what has he done since then? Why are we still holding on to Brevin Jordan and Christian Harris like they just this phenomenal situation? And hey, y'all know I was the biggest Christian Harris fan from the get-go, but when you can't prove you can't play and you can't go to the field and you're a healthy stretch, bro, we gotta move on. Brevin Jordan, we gotta move on from Brevin Jordan.
Look, the people that are big fans of Brevin Jordan and Christian Harris, like you said, they talk about that one couple plays that they made, and they do all of that, are the same people that go and talk about, you remember back in my day, I had that one block in 1975 on this he ended up being an NFL player back in high school. It'd be in 1989. I made the game saving tackle, and we won the playoff game in high school. And they want to be remembered for that for
Right.
the rest of their life. And so those are the same people that are just the biggest fans of Brevin Jordan and a Christian Harris. Like,
What
well,
if?
he showed that one time,
Yeah.
But again, Christian Harris hasn't been healthy. Christian Harris hasn't been productive in 2 years. And then you go back to Brevin Jordan. Brevin Jordan hasn't seen the field in 2 years.
Right.
So like living on plays from the past, and again you're talking about health issues. Like you can't trust those guys,
Right.
and because I think shout out to Killer Cal, man, but Killer Cal, brought up a question, brought up Brevin Jordan not Brevin Jordan, brought up Christian Harris out the blue, and I'm like, nobody gives a damn about Christian Harris at this moment with the Houston
Right.
Texans. Um, like, why should a Texan fan care where Christian Harris plays?
So Eddie, I'm gonna say two things. One, both plays for Christian Harris and Brevin Jordan, you can dissect that. D'Amico Ryans put Christian Harris in the perfect situation for the interception. Yes, he's fast and talented enough, but when your head coach can see something and you do something, that's a great move. But that does not indicate your whole NFL career. Brevin Jordan, that touchdown, it was at least two missed plays and a misread by defense, and he had a straight line, and he's faster than a lot of people out here. So we got to stop having these great plays overshadow what they truly are,
Mm-hmm.
and move on. And as my second point is for Killer Cow, who brought up Christian Harris. If they re-sign Christian Harris, it should be more a question on the D'Amico Ryans and Matt Burke and why this cat didn't play damn near all season when he was a healthy scratch for 9 out of 17 games. So us even having this conversation would ask more questions about what happened 2 years ago, what happened last year, that he can't see the field. So why do you want to keep asking questions? So what happened? No, any reporter would say, "Well, you signed Christian Harris back, but he was a healthy scratch all last year. What was going on? Has the injury come back, or what was his big injury?" Just like Joe Mixon, we don't know enough answers. So why are we having these conversations about Christian Harris when he's no one talking about resigning him?
Hmm.
Come on,
Yep.
guys, we gotta stop living the past about one play here, 3 play here. We gotta move forward. We in the championship mode, and you see what Nick Osiro trying to do. You paying Terminator over there a extension. You getting his big brother a 40 million conversation for 2 years. We talk about this next
You
two
paid
windows.
EJ Speed. You paid EJ Speed to be your secondary linebacker, and you paying him right at $6.5 million,
Man, we
or right
want
at
guys.
$7 million.
You should want guys on this team that you know that's going to war with. The going to trench was. I'll apologize because we actually in real war that you can count on every game. They're going to be here. Not guys. Oh, we got question marks. So I don't want to hear Christian Harris name anymore. But that's just me. I digress.
Nobody wants to hear about Christian Harris. Nobody. I'm tired about Brevin Jordan. We should be past it, but
Yeah.
But again, we're here. But thank God that we don't have to worry about Kenyon Sadiq, because Kenyon Sadiq is going to be
Clayton,
another.
Clayton, why he keep rolling that salt in that wound of yours, old boy?
It's gotta
Listen,
just.
I don't understand. I'm sorry. I thought
Alcohol, lemon
I
juice.
thought I thought we liked athleticism and touchdowns and
So
winning.
there's a list of those guys that ran the extremely fast 40,
It
similar
ain't just about the
build,
40.
similar athletic type. The last one that came out recently, I think, was Evan Ingram in that same build. And Evan Ingram now is just a journeyman tight end that had probably a half of a good season his whole
Look
career.
here. At some point, I get tired of saying that. Much respect to who I'm about to reference, but I get tired of seeing Owen Daniels being the best tight end in franchise history. I
Well,
get tired of
you
these
probably get Dalton Schultz as being the best tight end in Texas history.
second best, right? That by default, like he.
But my whole point is this. Like you want the explosiveness at tight end and everything like that. Like the tight ends that are top of the line like that, are they truly that explosive? Like Travis Kelce was the number one tight end forever and a day. Was he like a true home run hitter, or was he just a damn good tight end?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get, look, Sadiq, Stowers, Claire, I want somebody who's an impact game changer. Dalton Schultz provides you stability, which is good. He had a career season, but he's more of a possession tight end. He's stable. He knows what to be. He's smart, which is great. Use that. But I want the Texans in 2026 to utilize the tight end position in a way that historically they never had before. Owen Daniels was your GOAT. Dalton Schultz is your 2, and then whomever else after that. They have an opportunity in a draft flushed with tight end prospects to at least take a shot on the guy, even if it's not Kenny Sadiq. I just want there to be intentionality to attack the position, and maximize every spot that you can. Like,
Clay, I'm arguing with this point. I'm not arguing, but I'm telling you a point. Do you know the reason why Owen Daniels was the best tight end we had?
shoot.
Because we had an O line. We didn't have to have him blocking as a 7th or 6th person blocking and guarantee he had to block because we couldn't block. The O lines that he played against, them guys can play 5-on-5, sometimes 5-on-6 to give quarterbacks and running backs open gaps, or allows your Owen Daniels to get open and be a safety blanket when things broke, because that gave the time the holes and the gap and the time span to throw around. Schultz is not a blocking guy. We already know that Schultz is not explosive, but Schultz can give you more when he gives to you if he's not asked to block 95% of the time, because we can't hold up on blitzes.
Agree. No, I agree. It's just with that agreement, I also see yards left on the field when I watch Schultz play. And it's not to disrespect him. We're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
I see a lot of meat left on the bone with Dalton Schultz. A lot of plays that I'm not even going to say Brevin Jordan's name, but if anybody else in that position on a tight end screen or this or that, they're taking it for at least another 5 to 7 yards. They're fighting more. Schultz is who he is. I like Schultz. He's stable, right? He's a stable option, but there's stability and then there is innovation. And right now, the Texans need to, all of their innovators are on the defensive side of the ball. All of their innovations over there.
100% agree.
And it's like, that's all I'm saying is like, can we get some innovation on the opposite side? That's all I'm asking for, whether it's tight end, running back, whatever the case may be.
You're getting close. You're getting close to that.
Yes,
you're getting close to that.
I'm gonna say 2 names that didn't have any kind of skill besides getting open and falling down. Jason Witten and Greg Olsen.
Bro.
Jason, there's nothing great about Jason Witten for Dallas Cowboys.
Other than he got open.
He got open and he fell forward. That's all you wanted. And he was athletic, so I get it. I really do. I'm not downplaying the situation. But once again, you want to take a back tight end at number 1 when you have glaring holes. It's just not something that I'm looking forward to. But I get it though.
And I'm gonna say this: this is not the draft to go full on board with tight end, where like next year is going to have more of a depth as far as tight end in the draft. But
Clay don't give a damn. He said what he wanted. He want the tight end.
I'm saying in an ideal situation, if the rest, like Jules said, if the rest of the team was solid and you didn't have all these needs, one of them first 4 picks could be a tight end, and I'd be fine.
Most definitely.
One of those 4. It ain't got to be 28. We run enough mocks. We've seen names still on the board. You can get you one. But I digress.
Moving on. When it comes to the offensive line, you brought back Trent Brown. The idea of what the Texans, and then you trade Titus Howard, the idea of what the Texans are going to do on the offensive line is the biggest question mark going into free agency and the draft, and what the Texans are going to do. Because right now you can kind of basically say that the Texans have, 4 holes or 3 holes on the offensive line right now. With what's going on, you can say your tackles are together with Titus and Trent Brown.
Because you got Ursary, Andrews, and Brown really 2.5, because we really don't know if Trent is going to be their starting right tackle or if he's just like depth / spot starter. So we really don't know.
Right. So
Which is not good. That's not ideal, period. Like to have a Trent Brown at this stage of his career as your starting right tackle, it's not the best idea. So
I wasn't gonna say it, but I'm so glad Clayton said it. I wasn't gonna say it this time.
well, because we need stuff that's gonna work, right? Trent Brown is a great flyer, just like Jake Andrews if you slot him to a depth position. But we know upgrades are needed. We know this. It's just they don't have much time to wait. And I know I don't want to get too ahead of it, but it's just the urgency increases when you keep seeing names come off the board early, like before tomorrow even gets here, with names like Tyler Biadasz and Connor McGovern flying off the board. That limits you even more in free agency. So, they can't miss too many more times with this crop of dudes right now.
Yeah, we come Monday, Tuesday, we're gonna figure out what's the plan with the cap space that they created, with the idea what they want online. I put on I'll ask about same thing you asked about. We don't know how they feel about Jack Andrews. We know as a fan base that we don't like him. Most of us don't like him. We've heard the reports of mutual understanding or mutual interest on both parties from Cade and all these players. And CJ said he want him, he want that person. But we don't really know what the direction of the team in, so we're kind of following. So we're adding and we're seeing our own comments to what is reported. And come Monday and Tuesday, we'll get the more clear picture about what Nick Casares and his line gonna do. And because it could be Trent Brown starting, maybe not finishing, but could be starting. And the $7 million a starting right tackle ain't bad money for it. But I just don't feel him because to me he's never healthy, and that's my biggest issue. Like I said about everybody else in the past couple of years, if I can't depend on you in when the game's on the line, I ain't trying to have you on the field with me.
I feel you, but again, I have faith in Trent Brown. I think that
But why? But why?
So
based on what?
So my faith is that you have a full off season of Trent Brown not having to overcome, major surgery, major, injuries and all the stuff that he, had to overcome this last off season. You get to have him in your training program and you are able to see about him, you're able to basically mold Trent Brown back to where you want him to be this offseason. And I think that for the most part, he was pretty much healthy when he came back and started playing, he was pretty much healthy all the way until the last game.
I thought he missed a game or missed a couple of snaps during the season too when they kind of
Missed a
game
couple
on
snaps, but nothing like
exactly.
crazy. But hell, everybody missed snaps, Jules.
But that's not. But you don't want to go in and have a situation going with somebody who might miss games when you have a history of him missing games.
Did he miss games though? Let's go back.
How many games did he start? How many games? How many was healthy? And how many games did he miss in the playoffs?
He missed the one game in the playoffs.
Okay, that's a big thing. And he wasn't healthy when they signed him. So it can be word signs all you want to. The fact of the matter that he didn't come to the season healthy, and that you're hoping, and that's what it is, and you hoping that he could be molded back into the Trent Brown of everybody think he was when he first played for New England. He's solid, but he's not something that you can depend on because he hasn't proved it in over 6 years.
Yeah.
I don't want people romanticizing Trent Brown because of what the very low bottom we had from the team had our beginning. Well, he played good for 5 games. Oh, great! Now he's a great. No, let's not forget we started at the bottom of this O line, and he looked good because we're at the bottom.
Yeah, I got you, but I have faith in him. I have faith. But I think that when I say I have faith with it, I think that the Texans, again, like you said, he played about 8 to 9 games, and that's when he took over in the middle of the season. So he finished the season off with the Texans. But it's to me, I think that Trent Brown is, and you look at the 1 year contract. I think this is probably his swan song as far as playing. But I think it's the fact that you are drafting. It kind of insinuates you're going to draft a tackle.
Correct.
And which is fine, And so again, we had this conversation offline, Jules, and I made the statement. I'd rather have two different ways of thinking, and the way I want to think about it is that I'm drafting the player to develop to take over, rather than I'm drafting the player and I'm hesitant for him to take over. I'm waiting for him to take over. And there go Larry Payton about backdooring about Trent Brown. Again, Trent Brown was productive, because my thing is you would be right about Trent Brown if he was not productive at all. If he wasn't productive at all and he couldn't do anything, he couldn't play, then you can crap on him and do all that stuff about Trent Brown. But Trent Brown was very productive and probably was outside. He was your best tackle.
So I was half right. One was he was decent. Second is,
but a half right makes a wrong.
so he was hurt, right? Was he not hurt the playoff game?
He was hurt.
Ain't that one of my biggest?
But
wasn't that my biggest thing, that you can't trust him to be healthy the whole year? Correct? Not. You can't have both ways.
You can.
No, you can't.
It's called having your cake and eating it too.
And that's what you're doing. Now you ain't being real about it. Let's be real about it.
But look, I'm gonna go back to what Rodney Bryce said. He said maybe we can draft a right tackle and let Trent groom. And my exact thoughts about it.
Yeah, that's a good mindset to have.
Again, you can have guys late in the draft like a Cronover from A&M or a Bell from Miami, who are a similar build. Trent Brown, who are 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" guys, 350, 60 pounds, that are very, very similar mold, athletic, but similar mold to Trent Brown, where those guys can look at Trent Brown and say, if I can, play like him, I'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think about Proctor. Proctor's a whole nother, situation. But if you draft Proctor has to play right away. You can't sit Proctor.
No, he got to get in shape.
Yeah. And then Lump says Nico was hurt too. We don't want to talk about Nico.
Ooh, we don't want to talk about that.
That's why Nico about to be gone. # he gone. And I can't wait for that bomb to drop. I'm gonna be popping up like Stephen A with the cowboy hat and a cigar. Yeah, I know they brought him in, Brandon, but that doesn't mean that it's a guarantee they're gonna draft him. You're gonna see a lot of players that they're gonna bring in. I can't wait till they bring in Master Tackle. When they bring in Master Tackle, you're gonna say, they brought him in, that's who they're gonna draft now. So we'll only make about $4 million if he plays 9 games. Right. I mean, nobody's tripping on it. I just like that it's some stability in it, is that you have the guarantee of, like, when he does play, he's going to play decent to well.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like Trent, like the way that the conversation was approached is that Trent Brown is a liability even when he's on the field. And that's not the case. So that's the point I'm trying to, get at. So that's where we're at with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, we can move on.
Mm-hmm.
I tried not to talk about Trent Brown, but y'all would have brought Trent Brown into some conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I have my bones sometimes. I don't let him go. But I get a man credit. He played well.
Look, Trent Brown, he was one of the starters when we were on that win streak. So he wasn't a bum. He had his hand in the success of the team, So like AD said, stability is good. Stability is always good. And Nick Caserio is always thinking about the future, flexibility, and all this stuff. So I don't believe Trent Brown is going to be your 17, 18 game starting right tackle. I don't think so. And if he is, hopefully it's because he's dominant. So we just don't know. That's the thing. Like, Super Bowls aren't won in the offseason, right? Like, we're talking about this now on March 8th.
Yeah.
You know, like what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know,
What's the next topic? Because
um,
I know y'all hate me for
so
not liking St.
there
Brown.
is a little breaking news. The Raiders are trading for Teron Johnson for a 6th or 7th round pick from the Buffalo Bills.
The cornerback. That's
I'm sorry, a
crazy.
pick swap, a 6th, 7th round pick swap.
Yeah. He's about to
Mhm.
get cut though. Tron Johnson, right?
Yeah, and they got him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know,
That's
a
that's
little
weird.
news, little
That's
news.
weird. That's kind of weird.
So I'm gonna go ahead and let's jump right into it because we're almost an hour in. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. What are you guys expecting, or what do you would like to see in free agency? The first few days from the Houston Texans.
Go ahead, Clay.
I think for me, don't be shocked if you see Nick Casario put on his cape from 2021, tie that thing up, and sign about 2 to 3 linemen in day one of the legal tampering period. Um, I think he's gonna go Wyatt Teller. I think tomorrow's gonna end with Mays, Teller, and ooh, Mays, Teller, and what was it, Zeiler still out there? Regardless, I think he's gonna hit center, guard. I think that's going to be what's happening tomorrow, specifically Mays and Teller. I think that's going to be, and I think it's not going to take long. I think as soon as tampering hits, I think the Texans going to be in front of the line, and that'll set the tone. So that's what I got.
For me, I don't know. I don't know what to expect because, like I said earlier, I don't know how they feel about Jack Andrews. He has friends in the building already. His play wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Do they want to do 3 to 4 new O linemen? I already know. I don't. I just want to see what's the first move they make, and may not be. It may not be the. And of course, Nick Sir might re-sign somebody small, but then the second wave he does a high end free agent. That's what he normally does sometimes. So I just want to see the direction of this team. I don't really have any expectations of who I want to see because I don't know what Cole Popovich really wants as an O line and to get this better, but I know it's more focus, more pressure on everybody O line. So I just want to see who's the first O line they pick, and that will gives me more indication of what they're going for down the road.
I bet you it's going to be Teller. I bet you. I bet you
I
Teller's
think
going to be the first one.
I can see Taylor because he'll probably get a 2 year deal, nice size money, and if they want to move on, and if Tyler Lindbaum and Mays are not signed out the first day, it's because it's probably a bidding war for both of them since the centers are going off the market at a good rate, and there's not a lot of good centers in the first place. It could be like I said, a bidding war. We'll see because it's how it is. So I don't know what they really want to do at center, but I know they have to replace either both guards or they're gonna re-sign Ed Ingram. If they sign Ed Ingram day one, it'll give me more indication of what's going on with going forward.
Yeah, I don't think they're going. I don't think Ed Ingram's in the equation. I think they're trying to move on from Ed Ingram. Um, that's just me personally. I'm waiting for a couple more names to drop, and I mentioned it earlier. Elton Jenkins,
Mhm.
from the Packers. If he gets cut, that's a guy that I'm intrigued by. That, especially if he miss out on a K Mays, but he's a guy that I would definitely want to bring in, and he also gives you that position flexibility. That playing guard, he's good at guard and center, so you can kind of move him around. But I'm hesitant on Wyatt Teller. Like, I mean, this is my thing: is that everybody wants the name,
Yeah.
and by the time you get the name ain't the same. I.e., Houston Rockets.
Bars.
Kevin, the Rockets have been, and I'm going basketball as a reference, so y'all just follow me. The Houston Rockets have always been name chasing as far as players when it comes to building their team and going after players. And every time they get the star player, it's always a player either past their prime or you get them too late in the game. You go back to the Rockets have had Carmelo Anthony, they've had Chris Paul, they have Kevin Durant now. They've had Dwight Howard. The old Clyde Drexler was old when they got him. So like all of these players, like you can go all the way down the history of Houston Rockets, where you sit up here and you get the player with the name, and it just ain't the same. So yes, Wyatt Teller has been a wish list for Texan fans for the last like 4 or 5 years. don't let this be the situation where you finally get the name and he's not the guy.
Right.
Mhm.
And you sit up here and you spend all this money, and now you sit up here talking about you got to cut him next year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and he's older, so it's like, what are you really going to sign him for? So like, you have people that are in love with Wyatt Teller, and it's because of the name. But I would say Scottie Pippen's another one. You know what I'm saying? That the Rockets had, but I will say this: if Cleveland Browns needs offensive linemen, right? The Cleveland Browns need offensive linemen. Why would they let go a good to great offensive lineman? If he's that, if Wyatt Teller is the solution, why would the Cleveland Browns let him go? If he's the solution, that's always my thought process, is that the Cleveland Browns, they're rebuilding, but at the end of the day, why do the Cleveland Browns want to get rid of good offensive line and a good offensive lineman when offensive line is at a premium in the NFL period right now?
Well, that's like asking why the New York Jets do anything that they do, right? Like it just my thinking, my retort is it's a stupid one, but it's applicable because they're the Browns and the Browns do Browns things. It wouldn't shock me at all, even if the Texans don't get Wyatt Teller, if he goes off and still has like a quality season at least, may not be all pro, but a quality season. That's the Browns being the Browns. You
But
know,
ain't that what the people say about the Texans? The Texans
So
trade away good offensive linemen, you know they need offensive linemen.
look,
well,
But
this is my
ain't that the conversation? That's what people say, right?
but
in the past, yes.
Right.
this is my point. Here we go. Blue Boy Shine. Wyatt Teller was an all pro talent 2 years ago. Wyatt Teller's an all pro talent. Why are the Cleveland Browns releasing him?
Hey, again,
It doesn't, no, at the end of the day, you don't let all pros or all pro talent walk out the door for nothing.
sure.
Like, you, at the end of the day, if he, like, they released him,
Right.
they could have traded him. You let him walk and you ate a cap hit. That's the difference. So that should tell you more about that. You see it all the time. I just talked about the Tremont Johnson trade.
Mhm.
He was
Maybe
about to get cut. We traded for Joe Mixon when he was about to get cut from Cincinnati.
maybe
Again,
doing the solid.
solid for what? You
Because
still
they,
can trade him.
because they like they respect them. They like them. They do a solid, man. Do what
Another
you want to
one,
do.
man. Nah, another one. But Batonio and all of that. They letting all of that. You know, it's just the point. It doesn't make sense. Like, okay, he didn't want to play for the Browns. You about to make me cuss. So what? What does that have to do with anything?
I was gonna say if you
Like,
want to,
no. What is? Oh, he didn't want to play.
I'm just playing. I'm playing devil's advocate.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the comments.
I
Like,
sure.
know.
Game Face 44. So what?
Look, well, here's one. If we want to wash this one down with a nice taste here, another name that you can look for that was allowed to walk by their team, but for other reasons, Zion Johnson, Los Angeles Chargers, a guy who looked like every bit of a bust. They denied his fifth-year
He's
option,
Kenny Green Jr.
right? But he turned it around at least a little bit to where,
Barley.
hey, listen, it's about what have you done for me lately? So we talked about all stream. It's about timing and availability.
Yeah,
And you
you
turn
did
it
say that.
around. You turn it around just in time to maybe get a little bit of, maybe a good, healthy 1-year prove deal, maybe a 1-on-1 kind of deal, just to kind of see. You don't overcommit to Zion because you want to see him do it again. But he is another player that, because of circumstances, he was allowed to walk, and the team was right at the time to do it. But now it's like, that shucks. He actually kind of got a little bit better.
He's in the same mode as what Ed Ingram was last year. Except we
Exactly.
traded for him. So,
Hey, what you always say, man. But they come over here, but Cole Popovich, he might turn
I'm
him
not.
back a
I'm
couple
not
years.
against. I'm not against bringing in the Zion Johnson. I'm just saying the situation of, like, that's like them not picking up the 5th-year option was their fault. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Well, no, they
That's
were right to do it at the time. Like, they were
no.
right at the time.
But I'm saying, like, the Chargers letting him go at the, that was, his contract was up. They didn't
Mhm.
get the 5th-year option. They let him go.
Yep.
So it's just the point. Like, I understand, Mike. whatever. I hate to break it to you, brother, but that's about 65% of the NFL right now still talking about their offensive line. You know, everybody's talking about their offensive line right now. Name me a team that really is like 100% confident that they're not talking about their offensive line.
I,
Seattle.
I will kind of come as a fence a little bit and just say the Texans are a special case is because what other team is like have owners of 3 of the worst 5 offensive line performance seasons of all time? Like we are notoriously and historically known for being who killed David Carr, right? Like Texans got to wear that.
Well,
So
that's not that. But see, you're not even old enough to know the full story about how that even transpired.
hey,
And
look,
every
look,
and every year for the last 4 years, we have replaced 3 to 4 starters every year.
listen. That's what I'm saying. Like the Texans have not made. Like I agree
So
that like
I
it's
look,
overblown.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I don't think people realize the situation with the offensive line play in totality. Offensive line play in totality has tremendously dipped. There's been a lot of misses on offensive line across the league because of the lack of development and the lack of microwave success, or not the lack of, but the want to of microwave success when it comes to offensive line. That's why you see a lot of retreads and a lot of offensive linemen on their second, third team finally becoming successful.
So
From my
why are you giving people hard times when you see Taylor and these guys leaving a situation when you
because
saying
they're old,
it's a rich,
but
but
go ahead.
because the O line situation all around the NFL is bad, so people moving around. So you can't, like I said, that's what the league is. People are trying to find people to play in the way they want to play, and the guys they ain't got, so they got to get rid of them. And okay, well maybe he fits my system. I can do it for 2 years. That's the totality of the O line situation that you're painting. So
So
if they come here, and they might be the older, but maybe the last 2 year season they can play here and play well and be in a better situation.
so my whole point is the point I'm trying to make is that you're talking about those players have already developed. Is my point. My point is my whole point around everything is that development is that when you have players coming in, like let them develop or put them in a program to develop. There's not a program for offensive linemen to really develop now. And that's why you don't see a lot of success rate till later, is because they're again not putting an opportunity. Like Taylor and Batonio and all the guys that we're talking about, they were in spots where they were already developed or they had
Mhm.
already did everything they needed to do. So you're talking about bringing in guys that are kind of already on the other side instead of they're on the point of they've already made the apex and they're trending down. Whereas I'm talking about players that are supposed to be trending up and getting to the apex, which is where we're kind of differing in the conversation. And that's why I'm saying it's kind of a misconception on
So
what the reality is.
so you don't mind Zion Johnson, but you don't, but you tell her you're good with.
Like my whole thing is that I feel like Taylor is not going to live up to the hype, and Taylor's going to cost way more than Zion Johnson.
So you
And
so you okay with Zion, but you're not okay with why? Because of the age and the money
yeah,
involved,
White
right?
Taylor's
Okay.
what, 31, 32, something like that,
Plus,
33.
Wyatt's been hurt the last 2 years, so he's missed what like 8 games. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's gonna.
I see your logic. I see where you're
You
going
know what
from.
I mean? Like I'm okay taking a risk. Like Ed Ingram was a good risk because one, he's on the younger side. He was coming off his rookie contract, and he was a high second round pick. So like you take that risk on that type of guy. Like then you go the opposite side where you took a risk on Laken Tomlinson and it didn't work out. Where he was on the other side, he was an older guy,
Mhm.
and you took. So you get what I'm saying? Like
So
it's the
so let me
same. You
let, let,
you witnessed it from both sides last year.
let me ask you a question. This is a general question. If they pay Wyatt Taylor the same money they paid Trent Brown last year, would you be okay with that?
This is not happening though.
Well, no,
So
that's not the question. The question, if they
I
pay the
mean,
same money,
it's a super low risk at that point because you only pay Trent Brown like $3.5 million.
so it's more the money situation then.
I mean, we're at a point where we're about to pay Will Anderson $50 million. Everything is a money situation.
So the answer is yes. So I asked a
Did I say
specific
no?
question. No, but you didn't answer the question.
I answered it.
No,
I
no,
answered it. I answered the
you lifted
question
to a
with a
different step by
statement.
saying yes or no.
But I answered the question with a statement.
That statement says not always an answer.
It's always an answer.
It's not. No, it's not.
It is. It is. It is. And I'm gonna say this, Mike. If you're gonna come on this podcast, and y'all know who this is. This is Mike, RG Mike. Mike, I'm gonna tell you this right now, brother. If you're gonna come on here and complain and B word, just go ahead and drop your fandom and go be a Buffalo Bills fan or whatever other fan you want to be. Because right now, you doing all this talking. I don't want to see you up here when we hosting that Lombardi Trophy. I need you to be right where you at,
That's
sad and
how
depressed,
that's how Mike been
and
for years though.
still complaining about doggone Nick Caserio. So
Mm-mm.
again, I look at it like this: is that again, this is a good point. Signing good offensive linemen is not exclusive to the Texans. I mean, it is what it is. Like nobody is sitting up here signing good offensive linemen. Dalton Rice, everybody was hype on Dalton Reisner, right? When he was a
Yeah,
free agent. Texas
Mhm.
fans was like, we need to sign him, we need to sign him. Dalton Reisner has had like a so-so career, and he just re-signed, I think, with the Bengals. Was it
right.
the Bengals for
The
like
Bengals,
for $3 million?
right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the whole it's just the whole point of like, again, give me a younger guy that's trying to figure it out rather than an older guy trying to get his last hurrah.
Which is true.
Okay, so
It's
AD,
just
so go ahead, go Clint.
nah. I'll keep it brief. Nah, I think just a part of the frustration is like we just you said earlier, like getting closer, right? We see talent on this football team. You have all pros and pro bowlers just littered throughout the defense, right? You have some quality piece on the offensive side of the ball. It's just Casario's biggest wart specifically is building an O line. AD, you said it. When I first kind of got on, you said Casario had what 4 or 5 years to get like what'd you say like to draft like one guard, something like that. You said, uh,
Okay.
and he couldn't do that, right? That was the thing at the time. So now we're back here again. So it's not just the fact that the league is going through it; it's that Casario specifically, and it's not just that he's had trouble doing it. He has bristled at anybody who would even suggest the notion that he drafted O line, that he specifically targeted the O line, right? Like he bristles at it. So it's not just the circumstance. It's just an avalanche of distrust that Casario does not have with his fan base until he shows he can build an O line like here, dang, like money on the table, boom, top 10 O line, let's go. People are gonna have these doubts, and he's kind
So
of earned it. The team has earned it. Casario's earned it, and that's just kind of that I'm
um
just saying that's kind of the tenor of the.
so so let me say this that Brandon posted this. He said if the Texans are as good at drafting and getting offensive players as they do on defense, we wouldn't be here. So the point is that right now, checks and balances. Checks and balances. Guess what? Guess who's the checks and balances on the defensive side?
D'Amico Ryans.
We know.
You know what I mean?
We
As I
know.
said, as I said
Again,
before, you have two head coaches and arguably four defensive coordinators on our defense side of the ball.
yeah. So again, there's checks and balances. Like you haven't had checks and balances on the offensive side of football. So you don't have anybody to run stuff by or to kind of give you like the seal of approval. And I think you're starting to have that now. And
With Cole Popovich,
I'm getting to that point, Brandon. It's coming around. Is that Cole Popovich right now, when it comes specifically to the offensive line, that you're getting checks and balances now with offensive line. You look at it now that he brought in Trent Brown, he brought in Ed Ingram, he brought in.
ooh,
Um,
you give that man a lot of credit.
I'm not giving the credit to doggone Nick
Cole,
Casario.
that's what I'm saying. You give him Cole Popovich a lot of
I'm
credit.
giving him the credit because I said it when we brought all these players in. What did I say when we brought all these players in? It was for a reason. It wasn't to, oh, let's fix it this year with these guys. You have to start from the ground up when it
I,
comes to everything when you building a team, when you building a foundation, you have to start from the ground up. And right now, that at that point in time, the offensive line's room's mentality was nowhere where it needed to be. And so you had to bring in guys with the right mentality, even if they weren't the best of the best. And you had to make shift and make something happen. And that's what he did with the Trent Browns, with the Laken Tomlinsons, with the Ed Ingrams, with the Jake Andrews of the world. You reshaped that offensive line and you changed the mentality.
And yet we about to go in the offseason changing more people.
No, but you're not changing the mentality.
With mentality gonna be gone. But what you built into your mentality is gonna be gone. Now you gotta rebuild it again because you got new players.
You don't have to rebuild it.
You do, because the most of the players gonna be gone.
The standard is set.
But the standard doesn't matter if you
right now the standard is set. You already have two, regardless of what we think with Trent Brown. If we were to start a game today, Trent Brown would be your starting right tackle, and Arian Harris would be your starting left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack Andrews will be
again, but he's part of the mentality.
But you want to move on from him. But you personally don't like
my whole point. Listen to me. Kelvin Sampson, when he came to the hold on, I'm pulling it out.
Come on, you got to wrap the point up because we got stuff to talk about still.
What else we got? We ain't nothing to talk about.
You ain't answered the question about what you expect from Monday. Because you reacted to everybody else what everybody else say.
Offensive line.
But okay, that's it. That's it. That ain't more. That's no. You're not really giving us the fan base nothing. You're just like O-line.
I mean O-line, but first of all, we don't know who's going to be available. Yes,
correct.
Yes. I've always preached Cade Mays. I've been preaching Cade Mays. People that watch the H-Town Rundown know my point. Who I want. I've said it. And I've said it earlier in this episode. Who I would prefer. So my answer has already been given. I'm just giving clarity about Cole Popovich and my faith in Cole Popovich.
You have a lot.
I feel like you have, when it comes to certain things, especially offensive line, you have to set a standard. There was too much BS and him being trumped by whatever that man name is, whatever is the old man,
Saucer.
Yeah, Chris Saucer. Him, whatever his name is, get him out of here. He kept getting trumped, and so now you're in the point now they got rid of Laremy Tunsil, who arguably was a cancer. Personality-wise, he wasn't good for building up, mentoring off other offensive linemen, younger offensive linemen. I say it again, there's never been a guard that has been great next to Laremy Tunsil. Never. So Laremy Tunsil is not a positive influence outside of, hey, man, I'll tell you how to go get your bag. But I can't help you out there to be consistent. You just got to have it in you. So that, like, Laremy Tunsil does not present the right mindset when it comes to the offensive line. And yes, Titus Howard is another one. Titus Howard, he changed, but Titus Howard could have been greater than what he was. Again, the mentality is set that it's a no BS. They want nasty, grimy, tough, rugged offensive linemen. That's who they want. That's the mentality that he set, and that's the expectation that you have now. So if you draft it or whatever, these are the guys that you're going to bring into the building with that same mentality.
So if Cole probably said he wanted to tell it, you be okay with that?
Gotta roll with it.
Okay. So I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Gotta roll with it. And when he crashed and burned, then I'll be on Cole Popovich's ass. I mean, it is what it is. That's how it works. That's how this works, right?
And I think that's the perfect way to segue out of this, which is whatever the Texans are going to do, they're going to do it. Just say it with your chest when you do it, and if it fails, you better own it. That's all.
And that's it. Because he has yet to own it.
Just own it at this point now. Just
Casario. There we go. That's the truth. That's why you guys you hate him, because he never waved like he did anything wrong.
Look, at this point, I speak for a lot of fans when I say people are just sick of the shtick of I'm smarter than you.
Right.
And they just want to see you commit to a move and stand on it. That's it. If you think this is the way to go, then stand on it and make it work. Right. Like to quote the famous philosopher, mama, this ain't enough. Make it enough. That's what it is. Make it enough. Whatever it is, just
Let me
Nick
say,
Casario, Nick Casario got I'm the smartest man in the world, and TJ got I got the greatest faith in the world. Neither one have any kind of ability.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
gonna
Here we
say, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say this, man.
go.
Nick Casario is a typical white man in America.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm a word salad
no.
my
Oh
way out
no.
of any and every situation.
We about to get canceled again.
I mean, it is what it is.
We dodged the bullet
Tell
on
me what a lie is.
we
all
look,
right.
we AD, we dodged the bullet on CJ not having men in his life at the barbershop.
Yeah, there you
But,
go.
hey,
We dodged the
don't
bullet.
don't circle it back because I'll pull
No,
it
no, no,
out.
no.
Let's
We're
pull
no,
it
no, no,
back.
no. Look. There
Hey,
was some NFL news that happened last couple days that could that are just big news. Yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs traded their the cornerback to the Rams.
And
That's more
and he just got paid.
right. So I'm gonna say something before we go because Clayton already know I'm going with the situation. Max Crosby, which I give Trent Brown. He handled him when they played against the Raiders. That went well, but he goes to the Ravens. That's a win now move, and you can see teams are trying to give up draft picks to get players and their contracts to win now, and it's good to see because you like to see NFL coaches and GMs trade away their first round picks for veteran players because you want to see some of these players move around and be in better situations, and you want teams to understand that if you coach well and you have good players and you have a good organization, your first round picks are valuable, but you can always reclaim. And I like seeing the movement of veteran players, and we still got maybe two good players that may be traded. AJ Brown and I know Jalen Carter was names have been put up. I don't know if they really gonna trade him because they just signed Jordan Davis to a big deal in
Yeah, but
Philadelphia.
They saying Jalen Carter may get traded.
That's why I said Jalen Carter because Jordan Davis got the big contract.
mm,
I think he's the highest paid D tackle of all time. And this
Mhm.
this and this is my last segue, and I know it'll hurt some of y'all feelings, but it is what it is. The price of doing business. Trent McDuffie got traded on it's going his fourth year, right?
No, fifth. Oh yeah, fourth year, huh?
Yeah, because he was a second round pick, correct?
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So
so
this time next year, we're gonna be having the same conversation when we trade away Lassiter, somebody else for draft picks. The same situation.
I think Stingley will get traded for Lester.
you watch your mouth. You watch your mouth. I've already made peace with Lassiter maybe being out of the door.
so Mark
You
for
will watch your mouth.
so for
Hey,
everyone listening and everyone who's going to listen in future races, you can mark this day down right now. If Lassiter continues to play at his level and get the recognition because people are targeting him more than Stingley because they think if they got to pick their poison, they're picking him and he's showing up like he's going to because you have so much money on your cap going to next year and you can't pay everybody. I can see a trade of Lassiter the same way they traded Trent McDuffie
I
if
would
his price
say
still business.
I would say Kalen Bullock will get traded before Lassiter.
A safety market is different from a quarterback market. It's not even close.
I would just we talked about our stream. If somebody came to you with like, okay, we'll give you a high second round or heck a bottom
Well,
of the first, let's get stupid, right? Like something like that is like shoot, all right, that might
this
get it moved.
the same deal the Rams gave to Kansas City. The same exact deal. If that same that they give you four picks and you know it's gonna be hard for you to re-sign them because of Will Anderson and CJ Stroud and Stingley and everything else you got on here, that's business. So I'm telling everybody right now, don't be surprised. We'll have the same conversation next year.
So the
This time
difference.
next year.
So you know what the difference is, Jules? Is that Trent McDuffie wasn't he All Pro?
And once again, if he plays and he gets
So
better, as everybody
how can?
thinking,
But I'm saying you saying this time next year. So you saying that Lassiter gonna be All Pro next year,
yeah,
and they're gonna trade. So that you gonna have Derek Stingley, who's at this point is entrenched as an All Pro yearly, long as he's healthy, and you're gonna have Kamari Lassiter as another All Pro. You're gonna have two All Pro corners.
I can see it because he keeps getting better, and people keep trying him. He keeps showing up.
Lassiter is a good player. He's gonna be a consistent Pro Bowl player, but I don't think he's at the All Pro level. I think there's too many corners that.
So you're saying because he won't get the award doesn't mean his ability won't don't guarantee him situation.
But
That's still the
I'm
conversation.
saying that's the like the award garners the compensation. Like the award garners the compensation.
Okay.
Well, that's true, but at the
They,
same time, not really because
right.
if I'm his agent,
Sauce Gardner got traded for freaking 2 first-round picks because he was a 2-time All-Pro.
oh no, I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying like, okay, that's a good conversation to start the conversation with. But if I'm pulling numbers and if my client is right there as a
You don't
facsimile,
care about that man in
I got
negotiation.
you.
Yes, they do, AD.
Hold on,
Yes, they
hold on.
do.
No,
So,
well,
They
first
do,
thing,
AD. You just
first
now
thing
you're
they
just being
gonna say,
argumentative. You're argumentative. If he continues to play and he's at that Pro Bowl
look,
level,
if my
he's
client's
going to get
numbers,
paid big money. You might not like it because you like Lassiter,
no, I
but
mean,
if his play,
I don't
but
mind
hold
it.
on, no,
No,
let me finish. Let me finish. If he plays the way he plays and he wants an extension, the Texan may not be able to afford him, and he get traded for a good package.
why wouldn't they? Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this: why wouldn't they? So first thing first, the CJ Stroud of it all is going to determine what you're going to do.
That's
So,
fine,
so
but that's not
CJ,
my
so
that's not
see,
my
but
you
again,
once
that
AD, and
debunks,
you
but
but you're
that
changing
debunks your whole argument because the
no,
CJ
it does
Stroud goes,
not because you
I
don't want to
guarantee
hear the
no,
conversation
no, this is the thing.
because you like Lassiter over Sid Stringley. So you trying to now you trying to pivot to
No,
get the
who
got
said
more
I like
conversation.
Lassiter over Stingley?
But you just you said it. You said
No,
you rather trade to Stingley
no,
no, I
he said don't be surprised if Stingley gets traded.
don't be
because you rather
surprised if Stingley.
because we had this off third. You rather keep Lassiter. Don't do that,
No,
AD. Can you say he's more D'Amico Ryan's guy?
no, I
You
don't.
can shake your head. You can shake your head all you want to him, boy. We ain't having revenge history. And bottom line is this is my take before we go.
Oh my
I'm
God.
telling Texan fans, don't be surprised if that conversation comes up.
Okay, and I say don't be surprised if Darius Stingley gets traded before Lassiter gets traded.
Because you rather have Lassiter.
No, it's not. It's not. It's just that you've already paid Stingley. So
Oh,
you
I see.
trading.
So
You get what I'm saying? Like you already
your
paid
rule
Stingley.
is you're not paying multiple record-setting contracts to the same guy. That's not
So
really
Right.
so if in that case you can probably resign Stingley cheaper than you can do Lassiter because that's gonna be his first big time deal,
well.
right?
Stingley ain't gonna get
Thank
Stingley not
you.
gonna get any cheaper.
Thank-
That's he ain't
Stingley
get
is
no
the
cheaper.
price of the brick is the price of the brick.
Multi-time All Pro. He ain't getting no cheaper. That is
Yeah, that's like
that shit to sell.
yeah. I'm like, what you mean?
Okay,
Um,
Andy.
that's it right there.
So I mean, but at the end of the day, like it's a lot of things. I think once again, Nico Collins gets traded before any of that happens too.
Well, that's look. I want to jump on the CJ Stroud thing before we get too far away from that. That's narratively going to be the next thing for Stroud. Let's say if he gets a contract extension and people start connecting dots and saying because you did X with CJ, we lost out on player X, player Y. Even if the plan all along was to move them, people are going to associate you signed CJ and you cost us Lester or you cost us Stingley or you cost us Nico and blah 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 blah. That's it goes back to the pressure on this team is only going to mount because these
Right,
moves are mattering more and
right.
more. So whatever you do, you better get it right because at some point the success needs to happen. And when
Mm-hmm.
you face it, like no one's gonna question Will Anderson. Not a single person is gonna be mad because you paid Will, therefore I couldn't pay this person. Nope. You're gonna pay CJ, and that's gonna cost you a few good players potentially. And if CJ does not win, if Casario does not build this team up, it is going to get real ugly in Houston. And
I agree with that.
it's gonna be real ugly. So again, that's one of those like, especially if it's Stingley, it narratively is gonna be a problem. So but now to kind of switch to Nico Collins thing, yeah, I forgot who mentioned it, but we've been saying it. Somebody it's been percolated a bit throughout the fan base. Nico Collins is one more multi-game, injury away from some real conversations, probably magnifying if they're not already
Yeah,
happening.
it should have been magnified. Nico Collins. I'm gonna say this, man. Nico Collins is. I would say at this point, to give the most value, you should trade Nico Collins this offseason.
Well,
And
his contract
I
is
know it
coming.
hurts a lot of people's hearts and everything like that. But at the end of the day, Nico Collins is a good player. Hell, he could be a great player at times. But Nico Collins is again the same issue you've had with Trent Brown and all the stuff and other players that you had. You got to use the same logic with Nico. Don't get excited about Nico because he's Nico Collins and he's made the Pro Bowl and he had 1,000-yard season in the last 3 years, and you don't want to get rid of him. Hell, Michael Pittman was a 1,000-yard receiver, and they paid him, and look
Mm-hmm.
where he's at now.
Sure, Alex, the boy from Colts.
CNC.
No, you're talking about Alec Pierce.
Alex Pierce is about to be one of the highest paid receivers
30 million. It's just
for,
Josina Anderson just reported he won 30 million.
for no
Yeah,
reason.
he is out of Indianapolis. That's done. As far as Collins goes, he look what's helping him, and I said this on X. What's helping Nico narratively is that he has one of the objectively best receiver contracts in football for that price tag. Like that's helped him. If he was getting paid like $5 to $10 million more, absolutely, people would already be saying that kind of same thing. And my last point on it, I'll shut up and give it back to y'all on Nico. What hurts Nico also narratively is the fact that, availability, best ability against the 49ers, I want to say week 8, that was the best game Stroud played arguably all season on offense. This man had his highest yardage output, the most efficiency, highest passer rating. Like that offense was humming. Braxton Berrios looked good. Jalen Noel was getting some touches. Like the offense looked great without Nico being there. Am I saying that you can project it over 17 games? No. But when you see it at least once, it's like in basketball. Sometimes a shooter just needs to see a shot go in once for them to say, okay, cool, shoot it again. So they've already seen what it looks like. And again, they've had to play multiple playoff games and regular season games without Nico. And you got Nico Jr. in-house already and Jaden Higgins. So depending on what you can get for Nico Collins, it might end up happening. It'll suck from a sentimental standpoint. But I think that goes back into Nico, Davis Mills, players like that belong to an era that is far, that is gone now, right? Where now you're trying to move into Super Bowl territory. And just like KD to the Rockets, when you drop a real Hall of Famer or a real winner in a situation, you kind of see everything else for what it is. And just like you got KD and a bunch of nobody else with the Texans, like who are your champions? That's your defense. And then compared to who? And that's where all this comes from. Nico may not be that guy, and therefore you have to act accordingly. And this is what separates championship winning organizations from the organizations who are just happy to be there. The Texans have historically been a franchise who's been happy to be there, holding on for way too long, while the Eagles and the Chiefs make those hard decisions that keep them winning every single year. That's where this team needs to go. And moving Nico Collins and heck, maybe even a Stingley or Lassiter when it comes down to it, that's going to put them in that echelon of teams that says, hey, listen, we want a championship. We don't care about your feelings. To quote AD, we want to win.
I think we done hurt a lot of people's feelings instead. I think we're gonna shut this pack cut down. Trade Nico Collins, trading Stingley, trade Lassiter. I don't think our fan base can take it.
And in the words of the great Ronald Isley, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. But we here and we getting ready for free agency, so we will join y'all as this week is gonna be a hectic, crazy, wild, and crazy week. It's gonna be a fun one, and we get to see what the Houston Texans are gonna do and what they're gonna do to build this team up and continue to strive as a continuing playoff contender and potentially Super Bowl contender as well. So want to shout out my co-host Clayton, want to shout out Jules and everybody in the chat that's been going crazy as well. Thank y'all.
Internet's going nuts.
Hey, they came out of Lizzo. Shout out to everybody. We appreciate it. And we will see y'all on the next episode, man. Peace.